Okay, we're live.
Hello. Yeah, so we still got about a minute and a half to start, but I'm Kevin. I'll be doing commentary this set with Amber here. I just got back from playing in the trials a while ago, in the open trials, which was a long time ago at this point.
And yep, I just finished playing in the mixed trials a couple days ago, and we flew back after 3 weeks in Schaumburg. But excited to watch the final two trials going on, the women's and the seniors. And also really excited to be with my teammate, Brent, who everyone probably recognizes from doing many of these commentaries by now.
Hi, everyone. I'll try to be more lively today. Usually I've been staying silent because I've been doing other things on the side. But I was here this morning as well for the first set, and there were some exciting boards.
Looks like a high scoring. We're going to be following the Cole Baker match, I think, mostly, but we can call out if something interesting happens from either match, maybe. Looks like go on.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm Amber's teammate on the under 26 USA2 team.
Yep, and we'll all be going to the Junior World Championships in Veldhoven in August.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I was just gonna say, it looks like there was a lot of imps in this match. We almost hit 100 in the first set.
Okay, we're underway.
Four spades or three now. Probably four spades now for north-south here.
So we roughly overview what kinds of systems all the pairs play. Does anyone play non-2/1?
I think everyone plays pretty 2/1. I think maybe Kate or Karen and Lynn play the most unusual agreements. Like I know they have, which maybe people who are watching the first set saw, they have this like a preempting style, especially where they open at the 2 level a lot with like wide ranging hands, like any hand but less than open kind of, and like 5-card suits. And they play a variable no trump, like a 10 to 12 no trump at what is that?
Non-vulnerable first and second seats, yeah, and vulnerable fourth seat.
So Karen and Lynn did end up in 3 no trump because Lynn decided to suppress her spade suit.
Yeah, I think pretty reasonable choice given her hand. 4-3-3 with the nice diamond holding, positional diamond holding.
I could imagine some hand here if East had like the 10 of diamonds, where it might be a good play for West to like unblock the king of clubs under the ace to create entries to the East hand to take the diamond tricks that they've set up. But here with Declare having the diamonds, which is the reason why she bid 3 now, she seems like she'll just come home pretty easily here. Maybe a heart lead would have been more challenging. But still seems like they just make it.
Does the Cole team have like a 3-way partnership or something? They're
Yeah.
5-handed?
Yeah, I think it looks like Irina will be playing with either Margie or Emma, at least for the first 2 sets. Not sure if maybe Margie and Emma will also play a set together. Yeah, and it also looks like Anam and Georgia are using a similar card to Georgia's partnership with Zach in the mixed. So a lot of times, because of the way that the trials are set up, you won't actually know the makeup of your team until the previous trials is done. So here, they were only able to figure out who could be on the cold team after the mixed, after the first few days the mixed happened.
On the left side, 2 no trump with spiral. Do you think South could have offered 3 no trump to play?
Yeah, that's like the right, that's what I would do. Well, I mean, or you can respond 3 spades, just,
And yeah, give your partner a chance to bid 3 no trump and pass that as well.
but I think it's pretty common, kind of whatever system you play over 2 no trump, like whether you play the spiral convention, like where it's asking for support, or whether you just kind of bid naturally. I think either way, bidding 3 no trump with a 4-3-3 maximum is a good idea, probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen like a standard of not responding to spiral with not one of the 4 response bids. So usually you play minimum with 3, maximum with 3, then minimum with 4, maximum with 4 for 3 clubs through 3 spades. And then above that, probably natural-ish or up to partnership agreement.
Well, I would think if it's the south hand, like if you imagine the north hand wasn't a passed hand, I don't see any reason to do it opposite a passed hand. But if the north hand was unlimited, south might make like a splinter bid if they had like you know, a 12 or 13, like a 13-point hand with a singleton red suit or something that wasn't quite strong enough to jump or do any splinter the first time. But now when their partner's at least invitational, they might now make that bid in case their partner has a slam hand or something.
Yeah, so probably pretty natural-ish
But here,
bids above that.
also splinter. But
Okay, yeah, that's what I mean.
yeah, I guess you can think of splinters as natural. It's like what you've been seeing.
Yeah, like when you have like a major fit and then somebody jumps in a new suit, it'd probably be common to assume that's a splinter.
On the right side, the defense did pretty well, I think, to stay off continuing the diamonds, at least not giving Declare a second diamond trick. But Declare already has 9 top tricks and is more just worried about a 10th. The spades, it's kind of interesting. Like, let's say Declare is in 4 no trump. There's some interesting stuff on the right side, like about avoiding the spade suit to east. Because if West clears the hearts here, Declare can establish a spade trick potentially, but they need to lose the lead to east if they do. So, like, let's say they led, I mean, maybe we'll see some of it, I don't know. But let's say they led the 2 of spades out of their hand. West would have to insert the 10 to prevent being ducked to east. And then if Declare wins the king, east could now unblock the queen in an effort to also not allow their queen to win later. And that might work on the hand actually, because there would be some option to like end play West at that point by throwing them in with the heart, but the entries might not work here.
So how does 4 spades compare to 3 now? So I think it went heart lead. No.
Declare knocked out the ace of diamonds because
Okay.
they're trying to pitch their heart on the king of diamonds.
Yeah. We'll lose another spade and a club.
You don't really hear it. I mean, they need to draw a trump now because if West gets in with the king of clubs currently, a heart will promote a trump trick for the West. So they need to play trump first here to make it, and then make a play, and then make pretty much the normal playing clubs. I think is just to play ace and a club or play for the king on side.
Yeah, which, yeah, it feels like anything pretty natural in clubs will work with this club suit.
Yeah, and another interesting way you could attack the club suit. If you thought the king was offside, you could play for a doubleton king, just ace and duck one. You could also take a play called an intra finesse. I wish we had the analysis hand board, yeah. But like the idea is that you might lead, if West had 10 and 1 club or Jack and 1 club, you could lead a low club towards the queen 8/5 and insert the 8, forcing out the Jack or 10 from East, and then later lead the queen to pin West's 10. But these are the kind of plays you would take only if you had some reason to think East had the king or the length, or at least one of the two. Here, I don't think Declare has any reason to think either, so they just took a normal play. Yeah, in the other room, East or Declare was able to play for a squeeze if the diamond Jack was with the length and spades. There would be a squeeze here for an over trick.
Yep, so this time being, yeah, the difference in contract did not really make a difference. Moving on to the next hand.
Yeah, it'll be 1 imp to call for the higher scoring game contract.
So here you kind of have a decision with the West hand. Yeah, I think one thing to think about is whether West can think about starting with a pass here in terms of a penalty pass for hearts. And some people, I think, play a style where they're more likely to do it, even with a hand that might not be interested in passing out 1 heart doubled, maybe hoping it might go 1 heart past 2 hearts and your partner comes with a double, and now you might try to get them in 2 hearts doubled. Some people are more in the camp, I think, of they'll only penalty pass 1 heart if they're willing to pass out 1 heart doubled. And I think, yeah, there's pros and cons. Not bidding your no trip immediately definitely has a benefit of simplifying the auction, getting to show your hand immediately.
Yeah, I don't, as someone who is in the camp of like liking to pass 1 heart, I don't think you should really consider passing 1 heart in this situation. I might, first of all, it's much more attractive when the opponents are vulnerable. Second, you would want to have better spots probably than ace queen empty. Like if I had ace queen 10/4 and the opponents were vulnerable, then that I would be like really considering it. But also, Amber mentioned, like, I am someone who sometimes will pass 1 heart even if I'm not intending to pass it doubled, but I wouldn't do that with like a game forcing hand. Like I might do that with a hand where like 10, 11, like, yeah, I might do that on some, but with a game forcing hand, I don't think I would pass 1 heart unless I was really going for blood.
Yeah, I think there's also a discussion of whether, other than the pass, which agreed doesn't look very reasonable with this heart suit with the West hand, and such a strong hand, whether you should go slower or just jump to 3-0. And I think maybe some considerations here, how likely are you to miss a slam by jumping to 3-0 is probably the big one. I could see here, given like king queen tight in your partner's opening suit, maybe it's a little more attractive not to go slow. Maybe you could miss something in diamonds though, if your diamond suit and your hand is a little bit, yeah, I think on the stronger side. But
Yeah, you,
No. What are you saying, Brent?
I was saying like West doesn't really have a good bid as an alternative.
Yeah, that's part of the, so I think you both said the right thing, basically. Like, the main reason you would not want to bid 3-0 is, yeah, you have 16 points. I could see missing some slams, like where partner has like, 6 clubs in 14 or 15 points. They might just have nothing better to do but pass 3-0 trump. But on the other hand, you have to actually come up with a bid if you don't bid 3-0 trump. Probably you'd have to either bid 2 diamonds or double without 4 spades, neither of which is very attractive. So, I mean, I think they both did probably the normal thing and just took the medicine of occasionally missing a slam.
I do have a question for you standard system people. Is there a way to get your partner to declare 3-0 trump?
No. I mean,
No.
Well,
not unless you have a special agreement. And like
Okay.
standard bidding, I've seen people play like 3 hearts
Right.
instead of being a splinter is just like, please bid 3-0 trump partner or something like that.
yeah, I think a pretty common treatment that I play with some partners is something called Italian advances over a 1 heart overcall, and sometimes over similar transfers over other overcalls where 1 spade is kind of a relay to 1 no trump. And then you can get your partner to declare.
Yeah, I asked because over a precision diamond, we would bid 3 hearts as a transfer to 3-0. Yeah. Okay, this hand looks
Yeah, this hand looks
a
exciting.
bit fun.
multiple 6 ships at the table. The East-West have the better of the high cards, or what they can make anyway. North-South can only make a game. East-West can make a slam. I play for a grand slam.
It looks like 6 spades is a profitable save over 6 clubs, even though they're unfavorable.
Yeah, it's interesting. The spades does better than the hearts, because in hearts you can, well, I don't know if you ever would, but you can lead a spade from the east hand if North declares hearts and get a rough. But you'd have to lead it on the opening lead.
So interesting choices by North after the inverted minor auction. So North in the left-hand table decided to bid 2 spades. So maybe planning on bidding hearts later, I would assume. And then on the right-hand side, they chose to jump to 4 clubs. And although it's undiscussed, it feels pretty natural for that to show a big majors hand, I would think, at the table, Michael's style.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing is why 4 clubs instead of 3 clubs, and I guess it's just bigger is what Kate is hoping anyway.
I don't know about this pass on the left side.
Yeah, so what was it alerted as again?
Oh, I was talking about South's pass. But
oh, South's pass. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Joe's pass shows, I guess they're probably in a force. I would think usually if you're in an inverted minor auction, you can't pass out 2 spades. And yeah, West here South might have raised to 3 spades, and I think that would have somewhat taken away this option from West potentially of bidding exclusion key card Black, what I think is probably their intention here, since it's a jump to 4 major with a minor fit agreed. I think they're probably intending it, at least looking at their hand, as exclusion Blackwood, but I mean, now there's an alert. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, South might have been thinking that since they're in a forcing auction anyway, they can come in later too, but there is definitely benefit in coming in earlier and taking away some of the space. I think maybe the meaning of East Pass is also something that you can have discussion with your partnership about. Sometimes when you are in a fit And then partnerships might have the agreement that in competition, bidding to your next level or lowest immediate level, so bidding 3 clubs here might show like a fast arrival type minimum hand. And pass might show some interest. I'm guessing maybe that's what they were thinking with the pass and alerting it that way. I recently made an agreement with my mixed partner that we would basically only play this way for major suit fits and for minor suit fits, especially in like this case where East could only have like a 3-card club suit. Passing would just more imply nothing to say, and bidding would probably imply for a better fit, 4+ clubs, something like that. But here it definitely worked out very well for the flow of the auction.
Well, the East-West here, I mean, it seems like they weren't on firm ground that this was exclusion because East didn't respond to it.
They didn't respond,
And
but they did well since they were
they were, yeah, a little bit lucky for them that they didn't just have like a cold grand. Because West had a hand where if their partner showed 3 key cards, they could just bid grand slam. Another good thing to discuss is, if you haven't with your partners, what your exclusion responses actually are. Because it's very common to play 0, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you play 1430 key card, it's common to play 0, 3, 1.
It's also common to have that misunderstanding at the table if you haven't discussed it.
Yeah, like I'm sitting down with an expert and I haven't discussed it. It's a really annoying situation because I know a lot of extras play 0, 3, 1, 4 and might assume it even, but yeah.
I think maybe there's also a style where do you play 4 major as exclusion for the minors often, and maybe that is also like why they might not have been clear in this situation.
Yeah, I think it's pretty common to play 4 major, like unusual jumps to 4 major as exclusion when you like in an inverted minor auction or something. I mean, I'd play 4 heart, jumping to 4 hearts is key card if our suit is diamonds, so it couldn't be for that. But besides that, I could see, having that agreement in some partnership.
But yeah, I guess like when you first learn exclusion, you think of it as an unusual jump to the 5 level.
I think when I first learned exclusion, I learned it was either a jump to the 5 level or a jump to 4 spades when hearts are trump. Unusual jump to 4 spades when hearts are agreed, but
which doesn't cover this. So more a slower auction at the right-hand side table. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, there could be, it's pretty tricky. There could be some director issue, tempo issue. I wasn't paying full attention to the time, but it felt like West made what I assume was just some kind of slam try with 4 spades. There wasn't a lot of space. And it felt like East signed off very slowly to me with 5 clubs, so I could see as north-south. I don't know if the actual West hand would warrant being ruled. Yeah. But they could easily be off 2 key cards. Definitely not at all impossible that you could be.
Well, their partner did double 4 clubs.
That's true.
Yeah, which probably seems unlikely to missing.
That's true, but still in the hand, East could have had, king jack, 5 of clubs, the ace of spades, and more values in spades, less in hearts. You could still just be off the ace of clubs and the ace. It's definitely costs. But anyway.
Do you have any agreements about what you think this double might mean? The double 4 clubs.
What do you think, Brian?
Me? I think it just suggests like a real club suit, because like 1 club can be like 2+ or something. So I think it suggests like a non-minimum with clubs, but I don't really know.
I would think it says you're interested in bidding 5 clubs or something like that.
Yeah, similar line of thought.
Yeah, in the context of the auction too, you're trying to figure out whether maybe at that point, not knowing your partner's hand, whether there's a chance you might be interested in defending 4 major, probably doubled, but
On the left side, on this new hand, I guess both sides now, 4 hearts is not going to succeed, I think. You're off 4 top tricks with the ace of spades offside, and then also you're off at least 1 heart trick on the layout.
It seems like a very normal spot to be.
The question is, can east west?
I think you can get another under trick potentially. Like down 2.
Mhm. Yeah, I think you are correct. Talk about that. Brent, do you want to say how you can get another under trick?
Oh, yeah. So here, a lot of the times, like declare. Oh, they had the 9 spot, but let's say they didn't, or I guess it doesn't matter. But the defense can take their 2 aces, and because the jack is bigger than the 10 of hearts on the dummy, West gets to play a 4th spade, which would promote the jack.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, even if South's 3rd spade spot was bigger than West, they would still manage to get the extra under trick because North doesn't have a loser to pitch in their side suits.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks right to me. Yeah, they didn't even need to like cap, but they here they didn't cross over to the ace of clubs, which means they're gonna get down 2 only here. The other side, yeah, the spade lead gives declare maybe 1 extra trick from what they could be getting otherwise, but they're still gonna go down. Probably 3, or I mean, defense has 7 tricks at least. Looks like down 3 is most likely here. We'll probably see the hearts don't break and then switch to clubs, and defense will get their 7 tricks.
Have any thoughts on playing in 3-0 on these cards versus 4 hearts?
So funny because the first hand of the day wasn't something very similar. Very
Right,
similar.
I was gonna say, like, the east hand on, it might have been board 1. It looked exactly like this.
Yeah.
I think literally 2-7, 2-2 with a side queen.
Yeah,
maybe it was
and
a
their
side
partner
jack.
opened a spade on that hand, right? And I think at one table they chose to play 3. That table both contracts were making, or that hand, I mean, and this time both are failing. Yeah, I think I don't know. I had a hand I remember recently also that was very similar to this, where I had 7 solid hearts and not much else playing with you, Amber, where you opened a spade and I did 2 hearts, and it was that hand. You did have to play 3-0 trump basically, or playing 3-0 trump was much better, was a better contract, I think. So I don't know. I think it's pretty reasonable to play 3-0 trump. You have a bad hand to declare, like especially looking at the right side auction, declaring 4 hearts with a spade lead coming through doesn't look super attractive if your partner has, a holding like this. And it's a hearts run, you're probably in pretty good shape to make 3-0 most of the time. Although here, even if the hearts had run, Lynn would not be making 3-0 because she still doesn't have any aces.
Yeah, if the hearts did run, then if South had the king, the ace instead of the king of diamonds. Yeah, well,
given that they won trick 1.
Yeah. And if you think about the reverse, then 4 hearts, you'd still lose 2 spades. And now if they can knock out a diamond trick before you can set up your clubs, they're in that situation 3-0 would make and 4 hearts wouldn't.
Yeah. Like here, I think at trick 1, Kate's got to be pretty happy. When I say Kate instead of Karen, sometimes, but I'm talking about North at the right side table. You got to be pretty happy at trick 1 that it looks like your partner maybe won a king of spades trick they're not entitled to in hearts as trump. But then you're not happy at this point probably when you see the hearts are not running. The spades are running, yeah. Left side looks like a pretty simple game contract. I think declare is gonna trump a spade in the dummy, probably lose one trick to the queen of clubs, make 4 hooks. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a good point to see.
Haven't been a lot of them in either match so far. It's been, and the hands have been, you know, fairly distributional, but same stuff happening at basically all 4 tables, and it looks like.
Both of them found the 6 clubs. In one table, North chose to bid 3 clubs, so now we've seen 3 and 4 clubs.
About the 6-6, the double 6-6 sound.
And then another table, someone chose to respond 1 diamond instead of 2 clubs. And then North was able to, well, North chose to bid Michaels.
The call here for an extra under trick game. And move on to board 21 on the left side.
Oh, and it also looks like what Brent described with the Trump promotion in the previous hand happened at least one of the other tables. It looks like both of the other tables.
So it was 4 hearts down 3 pushing.
Yeah, 4 hearts down 3 at both. At one table, declare a rough high on the 3rd spade, which just set up 2 heart tricks right away for the defense. But one table did execute the play you were talking about of getting 1 over rough and then leading the 4th round of spades.
If you're interested in seeing that played out, you can go to the Pollock and versus Capoletti.
Yeah, that was, well, we can just say that was well done by Gigi Simpsoning and Kristen Onsgaard on defense, who were the pair to do that. Yeah, so I think most people, I think what you'll see will respond on the south hand. I think the other people actually raised to 2 hearts. But yeah, it's a good point that like you can really easily just lose 10 imps here if you just pass the south hand because you have less than 6 points. And I think responding with 3 card support and 5 points is still a winner. What South has done is respond 1 no trump.
Yeah, so one way to treat hands that are like less than your 6 to 9 usual 2 major direct bid. When you have less than the 6, but you do have 3 card suit, you just bid 1 no trump and then end up preferencing if your partner bids like 2 clubs or 2 diamonds, bidding 2 hearts. So in some ways showing a hand that could be a little higher in high card points, but usually only has 2 hearts.
Yeah, this is an interesting option on the right side because South did not promise 3 hearts with their 3 heart bid over 3 clubs. That could just be a preference bid. So North might have chosen to bid either 3 spades or 3 no trump, I think, to keep 3 no trump possibility alive. But they decided to bid 4 hearts, which was, I mean, I think whatever they did, South was going to bid 4 hearts, but
yeah. But it seems pretty reasonable given your stiff diamond.
Well, maybe 3 spades describes that you have a diamond problem, maybe. So what do you have on the left side? Because the play of this hand's probably not too interesting. Left side.
I think there's a chance that East-West are going to get too high.
Yeah, because West has 11 points and their partner up in 2 no trump. The question is, what does this 4 heart bid mean? Because for me, I would actually play the 4 heart bid. I like to play flag bids over 4 clubs. So I would usually play 4 hearts is good in clubs while 4 diamonds is good in spades. the lower unbid suit corresponding to the major and the higher corresponding. But lots of people play different kinds of things. It's just about being on the same page. So this spade suit is pretty interesting if they do end up in slam, about how you try to play this spade suit for only one loser, which is what you would need if you were in slam. Yeah, so like the simplest way, right, you could play for one loser is you could just play for king queen doubleton. You could just play the ace and another one and hope it's king queen doubleton. But I think what you might do, or what you would probably, you can actually succeed. It's a really interesting suit because you can succeed if South has a doubleton 10 of spades as well, either honor 10 doubleton or 10 small. And the way you do that is by leading low towards the jack 8-7. It's basically, yeah, it's another kind of inter-finesse, which I think I mentioned earlier. You lead low towards the 8, and like, let's say South has 10 small doubleton, that would force the queen, and then you can lead the jack to pin the 10. Meanwhile, if you lead low towards the 8 and South has honor 10 doubleton, they have a choice. If they hop honor, you can play the jack next time, pinning the 10 still. And if they play the 10, then you can drop the honor the next time. But where the suit gets really interesting is that it's, and this is pretty difficult, but it's actually a mandatory false card situation when South has 10 doubleton to put up the 10. And then declare has to guess. If they always play the 10 from both honor 10 doubleton and 10 doubleton, then declare has a guess of which one to play for on the second round of the suit, whether to finesse or play for the honor. So actually, yeah, declare cannot pick up both of those holdings if South plays the 10 range from both of those holdings. But in practice, you probably don't play South to put up the 10 from 10 doubles. Yeah.
Yes, because yeah, it would feel like a pretty unnatural play if you didn't know about the mandatory false card situation.
Yeah, this is not. There are some mandatory false cards that are easier, I would say, than others. Like playing the 10 from 10-9 third in various holdings is usually pretty easy. This one is not an easy mandatory false card. So I think Jill here is going to win the heart in her hand. They did get the slam, by the way, while I was talking about that.
What with 4 hearts alerted us? Oh,
Double key card. Well, I don't know.
5 diamonds is not alerted.
So yeah, double key card, the idea would sort of be that West has shown 2 suits opposite a balanced hand. They've shown spades and clubs, so East would be kind of bidding key card for both spades and clubs. Finding out about the ace, all the aces, plus the king and queen of both spades and clubs.
Yeah, if you do play double key card, make sure you review your responses, because that's something I've definitely gotten wrong. I think the standard responses are 1 4 3 0, 2 with 0 queens, 2 with the lower queen, 2 with the higher queen, and then 2 with both queens.
Yes, I think probably West's response, if they were on the same page, it was double key card, would be 5 clubs, because they have 2 key cards with no queens. So people are rarely on the same page about double key card in my experience. So anyway, it doesn't seem like West intended their bid as a response to double key card.
Someone in the Twitch chat asked about the 4 club, what 4 clubs means, and hopefully it's referring to this board, but it was a little bit ago.
I mean,
You can ask them to clarify.
well, they alerted it. Sorry, I assumed it was natural. Is it?
They alerted it as natural.
Yeah, it's natural, but we want to point out that it is like a slam going hand normally.
Yeah, basically anytime when your program is 2 no trump and you show any kind of minor suit above 3 no trump, it's treated as a slam try in standard bidding. So by the way, in the play here, South actually did have the 10 of spades, and it did pop up when declare led a spade. And we can even see here that Jill is now playing for the honor 10 doubleton as opposed to the 10 doubleton.
But of course, she's also this holding.
Right.
cannot have been picked up anyway.
That's the
So
point, yeah. I think Jill would play for singleton 10 because I think with honor 10 doubleton or 10 doubleton, most people don't play the 10. Most people win the honor with honor 10 doubleton and play low with 10 doubleton. But since singleton 10 couldn't be picked up, Jill had to play for, I hope it was one of those two, and honor 10 is more likely, yeah.
Do we think North had a case of doubling 6 spades?
what was
One, maybe to get a club lead, and two, maybe you're just setting it.
Well, it'd be pretty nervous to double 6 spades since they could maybe run to 6 no, where like I'm pretty happy. But yeah, 6 spades might make, and yeah, you're beating it on a club lead. So there is a case, but I'd also point out that I think if they run to 6 no, that's cold on the actual hand. Or is it, sorry, 3 hearts, 4 clubs? Yeah, because you can get 2 spade tricks the way we talked about by low to the 10 and jack, and then finesse the honor, and then that's 11 tricks. 4 clubs, 3 diamonds, 2 spades, 2 hearts, and then the heart finesse will be the 12th trick. But here it's not normal to get to slam at all because you'll find out you're off a key card in the queen of trump if you
key card, yeah.
But the thing is, I think they're gonna probably go down. They might easily go down in 5 on a club rough on the lead.
Sorry, yeah, can we walk through the rest of their auction? So 3 no trump was a super accept with 3 card spade support. 4 clubs, natural, 4 diamonds, probably
4 club is probably a Q.
cubid. Oh, right. 3 no trump, setting spades as trump. 4 no key card. And then 5 hearts asking for the queen. And 5 spades denying it.
Yeah, so if they just get a club rough here on the opening lead, I don't think. It's kind of unlucky actually for East-West that East almost didn't end up declaring this. This is the first time spades have been bid in the entire auction at the 5 spades bid. But yeah, I think the club lead is pretty natural here.
I'm impressed with the 3, like having the 3 no trump agreement too, even if maybe you think it's standard if you're not a familiar partnership, it might be scary to pull that out. I guess your partner might, I would be scared maybe that my partner thinks it's just a 4 card super accept.
It is a trade-off. Like there are hands where you're just gonna go down extra tricks for not playing in 3 spades. But it is good on slam hands.
The interesting thing here is that if you knew North had 4 spades, it's the correct play for declare at this point to lead the jack of spades off the dummy, because if South has a singleton honor, there's just nothing you can do to make the contract. But the problem here is that the spades could be 2-2 remaining, and if like you lead the jack, what declare actually should do, in my opinion, is cross. Well, they would lose if North has a singleton, queen, or king of spades remaining. But they could cross to the diamond and lead the jack of spades, trying to induce the cover, and then play the ace. If North ducks it, it's really hard to run the jack of spades if North ducks it, because you could suffer another club rough. And North should know that and should not cover it. But it's even like if South is singleton, king of spades left, you might get a mistake from North to cover from queen 10 third or something, to cover from queen 10 third remaining. So I do think that play is worthy of consideration. You do lose though if North started with honor doubleton of spades, whereas if you just lead low, the honor will pop up and you can finesse South. But that North is more likely to have length in spades than South because of the clubs being 6-0. Especially because South probably does not have a singleton in either red suit. Also, they would have led that. There's a decent chance they would have led that, I think. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so maybe declare's thinking about that. We did miss a bit of the play in the 3 no trump on the left hand side. Can you pull up what happened?
Yeah, in the left side, it was a bit of a fortunate lie of the cards in 3 no. the jack of hearts being onside was important for Declare. Declare had queen 10 third of hearts, and West had honor jack fourth, and East had honor fourth. So they needed the jack onside and hearts 4-4 probably too to end up actually making this, which they got.
But they will get it at both tables. So.
Yeah. Maybe a different. I think it was always going to make on this kind of hand.
They might get an over trick.
They can get an over
Or
trick here.
they will get an over.
I don't know.
Maybe I don't know if they will, but they could.
I think they won't get an over trick.
Yeah.
But they could here because West can be end played at this point in the play. They have to pitch the jack of hearts on the last diamond, and then they can be thrown in with the ace of spades. Well, actually, now they could pitch the ace of spades. But Declare is just going to cash their trick. I mean, yeah. It would basically have been impossible for Declare to ever do that, honestly, because Declare didn't even know who had the ace of spades. So George is thinking quite a while about this. I don't. So she's roughing the hearts dummy. So the question is, will she find the jack play? But if North plays low, I still think it's very difficult, bordering on impossible to run the jack of spades.
Well, another shapely hand on the left-hand side, but this time only one hand, has a 6-5. Yeah, so they went with a Michael's bid. Yeah, I would say, I think generally when bidding Michael's with 6-5, it's usually normal-ish to have a longer minor.
Yes, if you like the jack of spades and North made a good play, instantly played low, I don't think she's going to get this right now. Like, you're just playing for specifically stiff 10, and they made a decent play of not covering, and you're just paying off to all the times when North has honor third of spades, South has honor 10 doubleton. I just don't see how you can do it.
Unless you have a read.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. With me is basically since you're not running it. Wow, she ran it. Yeah, maybe she had I mean, North is maybe more likely to have 4 spades because of the 6-0 club break, but it's still only 1 spade holding stiff 10, and they have to not cover, and you're losing to like 2 holdings and honor 10 doubleton spade in the south end. So yeah, I would not have found that play, I think, but extremely well done. What happened here? Okay, sorry, I cut you off on the left side.
It's okay. It was way more interesting on the right-hand side. Left-hand side, I was talking about bidding Michaels with 6-5. So I think pretty normally accepted to do it with 6 of the minor, less so with 6 of the major, but here you were 5-6. So your minor suit was a lot better than your major suit. So I feel like I could see people, yeah, bidding clubs, but probably, yeah, you don't want to hide your major in case you miss out on like 4 of a major.
The major's where the money is, yeah. This hand, yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. If they can scramble enough tricks here.
Hi, so we're welcoming our good friend and also another teammate of Brent and I, Cynthia, and I'm sure everyone has also seen Cynthia around on the commentary.
Oh man. Hi, sorry I have to have time zones. I was in the grocery store.
No problem. You just missed a very exciting hand where Declare pinned stiff 10 of spades to make a game contract.
Nice.
First way, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have we congratulated Amber yet for her mixed victory?
Well, I should have said congratulations on the stream and I didn't, but it was mentioned that Amber won the mix and I congratulated her several times off stream. So in a sense,
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I just feel like you're the son of Debbie and Michael. You're Amber's
Yeah.
boyfriend. You gotta do a better job, Cab.
I do. That's why I need you here
Okay.
Sam, to keep me in track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Here, if spades are kind of, and if Declare plays, or Margie plays the ace king of hearts and leaves a low spade to start tapping the dummy, this probably shouldn't make. They don't have enough timing to draw trump and set up the clubs. Probably other ways to beat it too.
On the right-hand side, the other table's auction was a simple one club, I think, pass, three no trump. So we have a much more interesting auction going on now. I guess the first difference in decision was whether to make the takeout double with the west hand. I don't know, I think feels like a pretty normal modern takeout double to me. You have 4-4 in the majors, and you are vulnerable. They might have not wanted to with a very traditional shape. Actually, wait, let me make sure I am not saying that they didn't when they did.
No, they didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the takeout double, yeah, vulnerable. It's not clear, but I don't know. I think the 3-no bit is also probably not standard with only 2 small spades. But yeah.
How did the play go at the other table for 3-no to me?
Yeah, I think there was a heart lead, and then they played for the jack of hearts on side, and were able to just, I think.
Yeah, it went 3 rounds of hearts and then a spade to the king.
I just needed 4.
And you're making as long as diamonds are coming in and hearts are 4-4 now.
Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is 9 tricks.
Yeah, I think honestly, probably most of the roads were leading to down 1 on the left side. Margie didn't do the one I suggested, but this worked too. Yeah, kind of a misfit hand for East-West.
On board 22 on the left, should they let one club redoubled run off if they think North-South can make a game? So redoubled over tricks are very expensive, so they might have been better off defending 3-no than one club redoubled.
Yeah,
I
one
think
club
a non-vulnerable over trick is worth 200.
redoubled, yeah.
Yeah, redoubled.
Yeah. Which is actually maybe less than even some, or I don't know. Yeah, because one club redoubled is not game. One minor redoubled is not game. I assume that's why the question was being asked.
Right, and it makes sense. Yeah.
It looks like here they would make 2 over tricks, which is already worth 400 points. Or they make at least 2 over tricks, I mean. Maybe even defense could lose some of their tricks potentially. So that's already 400 points on over tricks. So it's probably not as good as just letting them play 3-no trump.
And you also don't necessarily know that 3-no is making.
The actual score, you'd also get 80 trick points because 20 times 4, and then you'd get 100 points for the insult of being redoubled. So my calculation is telling me the score is 580, but I don't know. It's possible I'm miscalculating.
Does someone have a bidding box handy? Oh. Yes.
It was one club.
Oh, you're wrong.
630. What did I do wrong? Oh, I forgot the part. Sorry, 580 plus. I forgot the 50 for the part score bonus, because you still get the part score bonus because it's a part score even when you're redoubled. Yeah. 630 sounds kind of like they were in 3-0 with an overturn. Not but vulnerable.
Okay, so we did not talk about the left-hand side table on this hand. Let's see.
Yeah, they got to 4 spades, which like it'll make pretty comfortably.
I don't know that this is a normal 1-0 opener for everyone. For some players, I'm sure it is. Ace king fourth, too small, ace king queen fifth.
Probably. I mean, the third seed is gone. Here. I don't know. Well, what do you think, Albert? What would you do?
Yeah, I tend to be on the, I think, lighter side of things. And I also play 14 to 16 no trump white. So, but even playing 15 to 17, I probably would not open a no trump, just thinking this hand is both not very classically no trumpy with too little, and a lot of trick taking potential with your nice club suit. But also with the spades, you're probably not that worried about if it goes like a rebid problem.
Yeah, you don't really have a rebid. You can bid a club and then rebid a spade, and then bid if your power bid's like a no trump, you can bid 2 no trump or something like that. So yeah, I think I don't, especially in first. Did you say? Sorry, I was looking. Did you say in first seat you'd be less?
I mean, I would say in any seat.
I'm almost in first seat. I'd be even less likely because I'd be worried about missing the club slam. Also, like just not showing my hand correctly. Like partner has some 13 count with 4 clubs. I just belong in 6 clubs actually.
Yeah, and yeah, just making that super clear. If you're in third seat and partner's a passed hand, you might be a little less worried about missing a slam.
Looks like these spots are going to make the over trick in 4 spades. Cash all there. They didn't cash the diamonds. Yeah, the playing 3 clubs would be interesting on the right side if they got there. So is the playing 3 hearts.
$11 total tricks. And we have the same option happening on the right-hand side table. Or left.
Okay. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be undisciplined for South to want to. Maybe you would even be undisciplined for South to bid like 2 spades if that was somehow like legal. Like if they bid something like double pass 2 hearts, South probably, I would think, shouldn't even offer 2 spades maybe with such weak spots. But yeah, it'd definitely be, I think, undisciplined for South to bid 3 spades. Although, yeah, no, they would not. They'd probably go down 1 or 2 if they did that. So that would be losing.
So we have a new hand on the left-hand side. Anything interesting? maybe have a more traditional one-trump opener now.
Yeah, we'll probably play 3 now. It seems like a pretty routine 3-0 on this one. Yeah, just on the right side, I don't. Declare can maybe scramble, like they can try to scramble tricks, but they just don't have many entries. Like if they could take 2 dimes and 2 clubs, couple roughs, yeah, like scrambling tricks, they're just not going to get that many tricks. They might even go to, I'd say down 2 is probably.
You're going to define what you mean by scrambling tricks.
Yeah, like I think sometimes on hands like this, the right approach is to like not just try to take roughs in the hand with 2 trumps, but just to try to take as many roughs in general as possible. Like instead of going club to the ace and rough a club or whatever, now you just rough a spade first, and then on some hands you can just literally scramble a lot of tricks before you lose the lead, basically, or at least.
I think it's similar to like eloping, when you try to get tricks by roughing in your hand, in the long trump hand.
Yeah, on this hand, they don't have a lot of entries to the east hand either. They're not going to be in the east hand that many times. Like right now, it's basically the only clean time they're there. If they go ace of clubs, in order to get back to the east hand, they would have to not cash the king, because otherwise they're going to get over roughed. So George is going for that, but I'm not sure it's gonna work. I think it's pretty likely you might go down more than 1 on the sound. Yeah, so he's cashed the king, so she's probably never going to get back to the east hand. So yeah, I think the Declare should have led the 10 of clubs there, just in case North decided to cover, but North definitely should not cover, and Declare would probably rough it anyway.
So on the left-hand side, I think as predicted, a more traditional one-trump opening. Yeah, I think there is, I think West decided to bid puppet, I'm assuming, with the 3 clubs to check if partner has 5 spades, and maybe thinking spades could be a better contract given your 2 little hearts.
I think, I was gonna say, I think Sal's made a mistake maybe in the other room, but by not leading a high spade here, I think East could have maybe realized actually that North is out of spades and not roughed that trick. And I think they would get extra tricks that way. Or yeah, I think they might have. But here they should go down 2. Because North really couldn't have like 3 spades to 2 honors. I think it doesn't really matter that they never raise spades. Yeah. Sal should not rough. Back club and played North and rough back club, played a trump to South and taken the rest.
So now they're only down 1 for push. On the left-hand side, any thoughts on directly just bidding 3-0 with the left hand? Yeah, I feel like there's a camp of players who are kind of the only bid stamen or puppet when it like screams for it. But maybe with this heart, with the 2 little hearts.
Yeah, I would bid pump it, I think, with too little. Usually, and by the way, yeah, so West asked their partner for a 5-card major with the 3-club bid, right? Looking for the spade bid. And I do think it makes sense with the 2 little hearts that if your partner has 5 spades, you would rather probably playing spades on balance. South found a sort of unusual lead to lead the Doubleton Jack of Hearts. I mean, I would not make leads like that.
Well, I think that this is kind of a case for when people don't bid puppet, because kind of you might be thinking, like with the South hand, that the reason they're bidding puppet is that they have concern for a suit, likely one of the majors. And yeah, that might make you more likely to make an unusual lead there.
Yeah. I mean, there's a good chance when West bids this way that they have 1 or more 3-card majors and some Doubleton. That's what most people would have. They don't have a 4-card major because they didn't continue to show their 4-card major. They could have a Doubleton minor though and be like 3-3 in the majors within a 5-card minor. I'm just pretty big on leading my 5-card suit. I mean, here South actually did hit their partner pretty well, but maybe not quite well enough. 2 hearts, 3 diamonds. Yeah. Declare still has, well, they only currently have 8 tricks, I suppose, but they're going to be given the 9th probably, and
Yeah, and hearts.
or clubs if they have to do it up by themselves. Like a spade play there would have been maybe the toughest to declare, but they could just attack clubs themselves.
So here on the right hand side, we see that East did not open a no trump.
The East West are playing a transfer advance system, it looks like, or something like that, where 2 diamonds. I'm assuming that 2 clubs isn't natural, maybe, because 2 diamonds shows the majors. Or I'm sorry, by isn't natural, I mean, I'm guessing 2 clubs maybe shows like a good raise of clubs or something like that. Because 2 diamonds in standard betting would do that, but they've replaced that with 2 diamonds showing majors. Yeah, Georgia didn't open a no trump, so not everyone opens a no trump.
Yeah, maybe this is a good time to also check on the other match. So it looks like Capoletti has picked up 20 imps, 22 imps in the match so far.
Yeah, what is this? So the hand where South responded with less than 6 points at both tables. I mean, well, actually, one table missed game in the other match, but it wasn't because South didn't respond. They only had 18 opposite 5, but the North, yeah, anyway. So if you want to go check that out, that match is basically even right now. But yeah, still not a whole lot missed this set, right? We've had the 1 swing in this match, I think. Is that where we're at, Brent or Cynthia?
One's 14-1. Yeah, really only 1 swing so far.
Yeah, Georgia has an interesting sort of play problem here, maybe, of whether to try to take the diamond pitch right away or to maybe just start on the hearts, because she can afford to lose 2 diamond tricks on a heart. So she might not take her pitch right away and just start on the hearts. Yeah, that's what she's done. think she'll probably take her pitch now, having already played one round of hearts. Yep.
Yeah, so looks like she's making the same number of tricks as the other room for another push.
So even a slam hand on the left side, that might bring some action. North-south can make slamming, no trump, or diamonds, it looks like. So how will the bidding go? Well, first of all, would you guys preempt with the east hand, or?
No. Not with these colors.
That felt like a trick question coming from you. Kevin is known for being a pretty solid preemptor in especially vulnerable.
Yeah, I definitely like to play a style that the 3-level preempts to show basically 7 card suits vulnerable. Yeah. Or 8.
Yeah. Yeah, this hand with
No, you can't have bad everything. Your balance, you have pretty bad spots. I do not think hardly anyone would preempt this hand. Yeah. Would it work though? If you preempted 3 clubs, it might work pretty well, right? You might go 3 clubs, pass, double, pass, 3 no trump or something. It could go something like that. Maybe South would prefer to play spades. I don't know.
Yeah, that's because preempts always work. So
well, I don't know if North-South are going to find slam anyway. It's kind of they're pretty unlikely to, right? Because North really just has 16 points opposite a no trump free bid. They don't have a major suit fit. Like it would go 2 diamonds. Like maybe North will bid 2 diamonds and then 3 diamonds or something to show their 5 diamonds over the no trump free bid. South, I mean, it's really very difficult to get to this slam.
yeah,
It's a pretty good slam though. Like if diamonds come in, you have lots of chances. So the spade rebid, I would rebid a no trump, but it's just a question of style, whether you bypass your 4 card spade suit with a balanced hand. So we see Karen and Lynn's 2 opening bids at action here. The 2 are just natural.
I guess they're natural.
5 card suit.
It feels like they're just gonna pass us out of 3 now on the left side. Yeah.
I think the fade also gave North the picture. I mean, I still don't think maybe North is not technically supposed to bid 3 no trump. But also the fade gave them a picture of a more, 5 clubs, 4 spades hand.
Yeah.
But we don't know their agreement.
Yeah. But also the spade bid could be, 16, 17 points, and it might be hard for South to bid over 3 now. So
Have we discussed a diamond versus a heart with a North hand? Did I miss this conversation? Or?
No, you're right. I was asleep. Sorry. I was not thinking properly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
North
it's
is supposed to start with the diamonds, and that's why what I was saying didn't really make sense. Where North, like, usually this hand type doesn't exist once you've responded a heart, so you don't need to show 4 hearts and diamonds in a good hand. Yeah, North started with a diamond that would increase their chances of getting to slam.
Yeah, just to clarify what we mean by that is usually with the game forcing hand, you start by bidding your longest suit first. But I don't know, there might be some other styles of playing here where you always bid your major.
Do they play 1 club as 2 or more? Because in that case,
Yeah,
they could still have like a 9 card diamond fit if 1 spade is balanced, still could be balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So East here is probably going to duck their East Declare is going to take the rep of the trick now. East could have actually taken their ace, but they needed to duck from their point of view to preserve communication since they have no entry and their partner only has one club left. Yeah, among other things, the 3-no bid, it turned out on this hand wrong-sided the contract. Like it was very possible that North could have just been going down on the lead of a club honor or something. With the singleton in their hand opposite king third and dummy.
Yeah.
Where
Hmm.
on the right side using their heart spots. No, that 6 is going to be high. So they'll probably end up with the same tricks if they drop the king of clubs.
It looks like they will.
Yeah.
Well, if they take a finesse, it would be a poor decision at this point, at least. They could have not cashed. Well, they had no re-entry to their hand, actually.
Yeah.
I was thinking you could like maybe not cash the 6 of hearts and then just like try to sneak a club to the 10, but they couldn't. Oh, they claimed 9 tricks. Okay, well, this is an interesting area of debate of whether they should get the trick. I think most people would actually say they should get the trick because when they claim 9 tricks, like the only question is, could they like accidentally bear their queen of clubs in their hand or something? I don't know. It's not good. Or maybe they could like lead the queen of clubs or something, seeing if they cover, but then always intending to play the ace. Like there's a couple ways they could like in theory lose the trick. But I think most people would say they should get the trick. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Usually, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, they called the TD, so they're gonna try to get that trick, I think.
Yeah, it's a tough area.
Yeah, it takes a little time, but people don't always do it. Just say, you know, is the king of clubs stiff or something? Like I'm playing this unless the king of clubs is stiff.
So what's the format of this event? Are there going to be 2 teams?
Yes, there's a USA1 and a USA2. There's
Okay,
4
so-
entries, and it's like a double elimination.
Got
So
it.
today is the semifinals, and the winners will go on to play USA1, and the losers will continue for USA2. And so it'll be 6 days total. The USA1 winner
Okay.
will only play 4 days, but USA2 will be 6 days.
Basically, you have to win 2 out of 3 matches to qualify, or 2 out of 2 to be USA1.
Sounds good.
Here, this no Trump range, but now North has got to be thinking about slam pretty strongly. But the question is, will they make a quantitative bid, or will they like force to slam, basically, or will they do something stronger at some point?
I mean, how's it going to go? Like North's going to bid Stamen, presumably South would bid 2 spades, North would bid 3 diamonds, and then I don't know, maybe South would just bid 3-no here, and then I don't know what North would do.
Yeah, they might bid 3-no. I think they also could conceivably bid 3 hearts, especially if that shows stuff in hearts and implies maybe not the best in clubs. They also have a diamond. This auction of betting Stamen and then bidding 3 diamonds shows at least 5 diamonds. So they do have a diamond fit. But on the other hand, they have a 4-3-3, minimum no trump opener.
Yeah.
So,
It's still a little difficult unless North drives more.
Oh, hello, double action.
the double, yeah. Probably will just help them get to slam.
It could help.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of better about that maybe.
Mhm. But they do know that South has a club stopper now.
Yeah, so some people have, just for context for Amber's comments, some people play here that if you bid over the double, you promise a stopper in the suit they have, and passing denies a stopper. So now Kate's, well, they play it this way. Kate's thinking that Lynn has 4 spades and a club stopper.
Do they want to transfer or is he just ooh, that is a that is a nuanced agreement, but they are a very experienced partnership. So I assume this is probably just an agreement they have when the 2 clubs gets doubled. I can't imagine it's a general agreement.
What did it say again? Like a good 3-card spade raise?
Basically her exact hand.
Well,
like I think it sounds like this is the exact shape you could expect if this is what it
it's
shows.
just, yeah. I feel like it's difficult for her to bid over this now though, because she doesn't know like the exact nature of Lynn's club moving.
No, I think you have to bid one more time.
You
I
have
think,
to bid, yeah.
like your partner still, yeah, I think you have to show a slam interest with this hand on your partner. But South might, the question is what will Lynn do? Like, will she bid something like regressive 4-no? Because then I think that would end it if she does that.
For context there, I think there's often agreement where if you pull a natural 3-no trump to 4 of a minor and then 4-no trump is rebid by the 3-no bidder, it shows a regressive 4-no trump. I'm very like not interested in slam hand.
I mean, Kate did well here. I think at least in terms of her side getting to slam, to not bid like quantitative 4-no, which I think Lynn would have passed, and bidding 4 diamonds now I think gives them a better chance, at least in practice, yeah, because now Lynn might just cube 4 hearts like she has a fit in diamonds.
And after the double of 2 clubs, quantitative 4-no trump is like less of an attractive bid.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if she already showed her shape, basically, it's really not. I don't know. I mean, also her partner did 3-no over 3 clubs, so her partner probably expected to have pretty good clubs normally. I would say what she actually has is already on the,
on the.
Yeah, I think it would be. I do not think she should bid 4-no here, in my opinion. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, her hand's not that great, but she has a single club stopper. I'd almost rather she bid like 5 diamonds or something. At least to help
4 hearts with her hand. Or
I'm assuming that the 4 hearts is a cubit, right? I mean, 4 spades. But yeah, I think 4 hearts is reasonable. 4 spades, yeah, I'd be worried is like natural.
To play.
Yeah, because given their agreement about this already kind of showing support, it sounds kind of natural.
I mean, you think she could be making it as natural?
Like, yeah, I mean, she's not queuing here. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess she does mean it as natural.
She does like technically have a minimum for the 14 to 16 no trump.
Yeah. I mean, are they going to be on the same page? Is this key card for spades now? Well, the good news, at least for Lynn, is if she responds to key card, she's got the same response to spades and diamonds.
She just has 1 key card.
And if she gets asked for the queen, she can also.
Well, but then there might be some confusion because if she responds natural by agreement. Yeah, so here, if Lynn knew she meant it as natural, I think Lynn might pass. Or even though I still don't love the idea of playing 4-no with Lynn's hand. If the 3 club bid implies short clubs and this sort of shape, like you still only have a single club stopper. You never showed that you had diamond support, like 3 diamonds.
I mean, here at the left table, East opened a no trump, and even though it's also a 4-2-2-5, 16 count, the values are a lot more dispersed, so it's a lot more no trumpy, as opposed to the other hand where I think everyone on this call said they would open a club because of the
and that's
concentrated
some nice
values.
tennis holdings with the ace queen 10, ace queen.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Cynthia. Like this is a hand where like everyone would open a no trump, I think, basically. So how is this? Yeah, 4 spades on the left side. So they did pass 4-0, by the way. So maybe unfortunately for them, they were on the same page that it was natural.
Good to know your agreements. So.
Yeah. I'm sure the fans of their team, though, like when you're kibitzing as a fan of a team, I know from experience of kibitzing Amber's team the last. When you're kibitzing these matches, you don't care. You're happy for your team to do like some pretty ridiculous things as long as it wins them.
You just click Gib and pray.
So here, though, actually, Lynn can make all 13 tricks by squeezing West in the majors, since she won the first club trick.
But continues to be no big swings this match.
That's the one. Yeah, a lot more timid or tame or whatever the word is compared to the first set.
Did you guys also VUGRAPH the first set, or were you just kibitzing?
I think
I was here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Braun.
I wasn't supposed to be here for this set though.
Whoop.
Brent is always welcome.
So we wanted to Baker.
Mm-hmm.
This is, yeah, one of the almost a textbook hand kind of, if you want to show like what a simple squeeze is, sort of like Jack 10-9, Jack 10-4 of both of the majors.
Yeah. I feel like all rows just led to 13 tricks after the club was stuck, because she just like you just cash all your winners and you grab a bridge, and then eventually you're like, oh, things split.
Yeah, the only thing you have to not do is try to cash both major suits first, like see if both are 3-3, because then you wouldn't have any communication to squeeze anyone. But as long as you don't do that, yeah, it kind of stops.
Yeah.
Jill did not repeat the spade finesse in 4 spades.
Well, she's probably just thinking.
She was playing safe.
Yeah.
Ish. I mean, I think it
particularly safe.
Well, I think her thought maybe is that as long as they have to, even if spades were 4-1, like North had 4, as long as they have to follow the 2 rounds of hearts, she can do sort of this. I mean, she has multiple possibilities. She could also have just played a 3rd spade, honestly, and that rates to work too. I think, but this also would work even if you imagine North had another spade here, she could kind of just keep winning hearts through them and basically draw their small trump very efficiently that way. Although she might have had other ways she could do it as well.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll be a bit louder, but a common theme of something called, I think a lot of people call it surrogate trump, where you run a long suit kind of through the person with the remaining trump, and then you have also some remaining trump in your other hand, so they can't essentially rough your winners, or else they'll get their trump drawn and get over roughed.
Yeah, it's usually about an entries thing. Like if you imagine on the previous hand, if West only had 1 high trump or like 1 trump remaining instead of 2, then they can't like draw. Yeah, okay, it's probably too hard to explain about the analysis for it.
We have another hand now.
Looks like north-south might naturally arrive in no trump, which is not. If they get to hearts instead, it might go a little better, although I still don't think it would tend to make. On the right side, I think we completely missed the sound. Or...
Oh, in the other room, yes.
Yeah. The same contract. It looks like Declare should go after setting up club tricks. Yeah. Seems like if they go after setting up club tricks, they should just lose 2 clubs and 4 diamonds, and they should have enough tricks of their own. But I think it's, yeah, a good lesson to, it's a good lesson for Coda. Do you want to explain what Coda is, anyone?
Oh, you know, I forgot to text you this last night, but I was going to suggest that we all wear the shirt. And I was like, oh, maybe it's not too much.
Next time, yeah.
Do you want to describe what shirt, or should we leave it to the audience's imagination?
You know, just your classic band merchandise, made in the honor of one Michael Rosenberg.
I don't have that shirt.
I have extras, Brent. For some context, Michael Rosenberg's, I think, probably the most well-known phrase or concept that he likes to teach juniors, or probably anyone really, is called knock out the ace, or KOTA, CODA for short. And in honor of his retirement from the junior USBF junior training program, a bunch of the juniors just got together and designed a commemorative t-shirt / hoodie with his face on it and knock out the ace written on it. So look for juniors sporting the short shirt at the NABCs. You'll probably see Kevin in one at least occasionally.
Yeah. Anyway, here on this hand, right, playing clubs is the best way for Declare to establish tricks. So she's done well to do that. And she'll make one, probably. That's what it looks like. On the left side, yeah, so Margie actually made a kind of unusual bid, I would say, to bid 3 hearts instead of just raising 2 no trump to 3. Normally that would show a 6th heart, because partner with 3 hearts over 2 spades would always be supporting it directly.
Oh, and Synth is modeling the shirt right now.
Yes, I just found it very wrinkled, beautiful wrinkled.
What a great design.
Anyway.
So Arena might raise this to 4 hearts. Yeah.
Oh.
So they got to the contract with maybe more of a chance. But still, I don't really see how it's gonna possibly.
Yeah.
Even if you somehow drop the Queen of Hearts, then maybe she could make it. But I don't see why she would do that.
You might need to guess the spades, or can you set up the club?
You know what really entries, like it's gonna go ace of diamonds, heart to the jack. Maybe, I mean, you have to lose at least 1 of each suit pretty much, unless you somehow pitch all the spades on the clubs, which is pretty far-fetched. I'd say down 2 is a lot.
Yeah.
Concern. Or more. You could also, you're close to getting tapped out. Declare's the good thing for Declare is that after they win the ace of diamonds, play heart to the jack, dummy still has a trump left, which means they can't be tapped right away in diamonds, or they could, the dummy can rough at least. If that wasn't true, I think they'd be likely to go down a lot more, like 2 or 3.
With the other table, we have a very similar auction from the last hand. So if you're saying this one is a much more traditional 1 no trump opening,
Yeah, I would.
With the pause in the auction stuff. Is there a real pause?
I think the natural cards here maybe are for West to play a diamond to East after they win this Jack of Hearts with the Queen. And then East might play a spade. Because although I think East knows, like if the two spade bid is natural, East kind of knows that the clubs, like there's no need to establish the spade trick quickly. I think East can realize because they can just duck one round of clubs even if the player has the Jack. And like the player can't get to dummy without using the Queen of Spades. So if partner has the Ace or King, they're always going to get it at that time anyway. So maybe they'll just play a trump here. Now, if the player had 3 spades and 3 clubs to the Jack, or something like that, I mean, yeah, something like that, you might need to play a spade through to get your partner's King of Spades before the clubs get set up. Also, though, I think East might think Declare has 6 hearts, because as I said, it's normal to have 6 hearts to bid this spot.
That's 6 hearts and 4 spades.
Yeah, well then even more so. I think it would have to be 6 hearts and like 2 spades and 3 clubs for it to be necessary to play a spade for East if Declare has 6 hearts. So Declare, yeah, they can't really, there's nothing in the club suit that can, like they want to pitch all their spades on the clubs. They could play like, yeah, they really can't do it. There's no holding that allows it. I think even with missed defense, but I mean, there's really no holding that allows it to happen. Even if they play a club and stick in the 9 over the 8 or something, you know, East can just duck. So West pitched a club. That's a little, if Declare keeps a club in the dummy, like doesn't pitch a club on the next heart, or plays a club now, because if they pitch any more clubs, they don't even have enough clubs to pitch all their spades. But at least now East has to duck the club as things stand. If Declare plays a 10 of hearts pitching a spade and plays a club, or otherwise it really would make.
Well, at this point, East knows South only has 5 hearts, so it should be safe to duck the club.
Yeah. By the way, in the other room, I'm just looking at it now. It seems kind of curious to me that Declare did take the first spade finesse. Like that seemed like an extremely risky play, right? Because if that finesse lost, you could just lose 3 club tricks, and I don't think there's a reason to allow that. Yeah, so Declare did not. Yeah, so here they did pitch 2 clubs from dummy, which means even if East, but if East does duck this, I think Declare's problems are even bigger than going down 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're in a tough position. They could switch to spades. They could go down several here. Well, they're probably gonna get the ace of spades and a heart, probably, although not necessarily. Like if they, yeah, okay, they probably are. But I think down 3 is not unlikely. Yeah, I think that looks like it's gonna be down 3. They can survive for down 2 if they pitch a club on this Queen of Diamonds, because the East hand can get cut off. But no. Now East can even give them a chance to go down 4 by returning a spade here, instead of cashing their diamonds, giving them a chance to duck first. Probably won't do that. They also might be not know what the diamond spots are as possible, because if their partner had like a higher diamond, it would be really bad to play a diamond here, because then they'd also be playing their
I
partner.
mean, she kind of knows that Wes has the king of spades because South didn't play the spade suit like someone who had the king necessarily.
Yeah, no, you're right. I should have probably
Yeah.
given it was for both reasons. First, yeah, they should know anyway. Most people just know they have the diamonds, they just play them. So that was good by Jill. That was very careful to play the spade. And maybe even if she wasn't sure her diamonds were like the higher spots, it would also be necessary to play a spade just to not play your partner. So in both ways. That was very good, yeah. Good defense. So Marty's 3-heart bid, which it seemed like gave them a better chance of making the contract, actually ended up even worse than the 3-no trump for sure.
Yeah. And to be fair, we see, I think, people missing spots all the time and all levels of all types of high level bridge. I don't think you meant specifically that.
No, yeah, I think, well, I mean, at least she had the 8-7, they weren't like really low, and she had the 9 originally, so I mean, yeah, she probably knew her spots were high, but yes,
as Richard just pointed out in a chat, it was also correct for her to play a spade to preserve the 7 of diamonds for the beer.
That's true, she did. Did she end up taking the beer as the last trick? Or was that
no, she did not. She did not.
Okay.
You can claim with the beer. Or did she actually play the 7?
I don't know.
This is very important.
She won.
She actually won the 7. Maybe she was trying not to win the beer. Sometimes I do that.
What?
Fun fact on Love Bridge too, you can click the little 4-card thing to the right of the bidding and to see what's been played on every particular trick. So
is that here?
You don't need to click through all of them.
Yeah.
Wait, Amber, what functionality?
Go to the bidding and then the top of the bidding. Yeah, and then click trick 13.
I never knew this.
Yeah.
The last board, 4 hearts. You actually can make 6 hearts on this hand. So here it's pretty simple because the diamond's going to go away. But even on a diamond lead, you can still, I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can set up the diamonds. So you really only need to set up one by like taking several roughing finesses, and you can not lose a club trick. Or you can avoid losing a club trick. But here, I think Jill will just claim.
That's pretty funny, actually.
So in the other room, yeah, I'd expect Baker will probably pick up with, although 3-no again, like could get pretty ugly, depending on what happens. Like I think down 3 is a pretty like if they just play a heart to the jack at trick 2, which seems like a pretty normal play. That's already 6 tricks for the defense, and they can establish the king of spades as well, and declare only has 6 tricks himself. So that would be down 3. Yeah, I mean, declare really needs tricks, so. Oh, okay, thanks, Brent. Yeah, this is a very low scoring set so far. I think this will be the second biggest swing of the set, probably, if they get, even if they only win like 3 imps here. I think it's been an 11 and a bunch of 2s and 1s.
How many imps have been scored this set?
I think 16 total so far.
Wow.
Did they get the imp back in 3-0? Oh, they did.
Can we see the other match to see if it was also low scoring?
Yeah, it was pretty low score. It was 27-2 is the score right now for Capitality.
Okay.
Yep, it looks like they finished already as well. There's maybe some opportunity for a swing on the last board. In the other match, there was a very small swing of 5 imps because North-South saved in 4 spades. And they bought 4 spades doubled going down 2.
Where to North? Can I see? Sorry, I missed. What happened at the end of the play here? In 3 now. Or yeah, I can look it on my own screen. We don't need to. Yeah, we can go back to the live hand. Sorry, we don't need to. Probably, people that are watching the stream and paying attention. So
So how do we feel about the 4 spades opener versus, sorry, not 4 spades, 4 hearts versus just 1? I think first seat, I don't know, I would open a heart.
I'm a 1 heart opener.
I mean, I just don't think the hand is like the right kind of. I don't open 4 hearts that much with 7 or like 7, 3, 2, 1. I don't think like too good to open 4 hearts. Really, it's just not a 4 heart opening to me. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they reach a slam. I don't think there's going to be any saving, but I would think that'd be pretty unusual to reach the slam. Like East might bid non-serious slam try here. West might cooperate once, but either side bidding above game on this hand.
Yeah,
It's a very light slam.
Epson's here.
West might not even cooperate. West has probably a hand that would make a non-serious slam try on its own, but on the upper end. And traditional wisdom is that non-serious opposite non-serious. You don't.
What was 2 hearts? 5 plus.
Yeah, there was a pair of hands in the mixed trials, I remember, where somebody had like 7 solid hearts and didn't bid non-serious on this kind of auction over 3 hearts. They just bid 4 hearts. So that was strange to me. I think George is definitely correct, even though she only has 10 points to bid non-serious on this kind of thing.
Yeah, the extra cards add a lot of playing strength, and she does have 2 key cards. Yeah, she bid a lot to make the serious slam try. Yeah, over the non-serious.
Which is not quite the same thing, I would say. Like I would say the very upper end of non-serious, it's pretty reasonable to cooperate over non-serious, but yeah. So that's going to be a push. And yeah.
Well, I hope there's some more exciting boards coming up for the rest of the day for everyone's viewing pleasure. But really excited to see all these teams play. We have a lot of friends playing right now, and it's always fun to watch and support your friends.
As we have done for the past week or so for you.
And as I've been very appreciative as well while I was playing.
Yeah, the 3rd session will start at 5 p.m. Eastern time, I believe.
So that's 2 p.m. Pacific.
80 minutes from now. 81 minutes from now.
And do we know who will be commentating?
It will be Kitty Cooper and Steve Sanborn. So they played in the mixed trials, I believe.
Not Steve Sanborn.
Oh, Kitty definitely did.
Kitty Cooper played in the mixed trials.
Yep.
Steve Sanborn is
any relation to
Sanborn is partners with Kimmy at the other table.
he has a vested interest in this match.
Probably, yeah. I mean, biased commentators can be more interesting. They can be more enthusiastic.
More affected.
Okay,
Right.
thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thanks, Brent
Right.
and Amber and Kevin.